Heads, olive and white crafty trout thingy. Tails, kind of a Bufordy bulkhead marabou, maybe crafter, something or other, but with bucktail too. The heads and the heads trouty stuff. Tails, they're both trout flies. All right. Heads. You love it. You love it so much. We have a. I don't want that one. You. Universal Stinger from Arex. I would have Gamakatsu B10Ss. I would have them, but the contact there for orders just won't get back to me. So, Arex it is. Sometimes I feel like, oh gosh, here we go. It's kind of like you want to paddle against the wind, or you just want to maybe go for a longer or shorter float and just go with whatever the hell's going on. That's a little hippie of me to say, but works out sometimes. So we got some of this. I've just been out of town. I'm just picking through marabou. Yeah, I just went out and visited. I didn't visit anyone. I took my daughter up to. I took my daughter to my mom. Is what. Restarting this already. I took my daughter to my mother. That was the intent. It was successfully executed. I got a nosebleed the first night, and then the second, which of course, who fucking cares? The second night, my daughter, she's 5. We're in. I also didn't sleep. We're in a bunk bed. Marabou. I'm just pulling off the base there. So I'm sleeping on the top, even though she's in a phase. She wants to sleep with dad or mom, but with dad, she wants to sleep with dad. And I was just getting, that's her face, or that's my face, and I'm her. A couple times. So I was sleeping in the top bunk on night 2. At some point in night 1 as well. Now we're gonna go with. This is the Krennic Copper and some of that UV Shimmer Boo. So yeah, she's fussing around. I was just like, what is going on? She's like, Daddy, can I go to the bathroom? I was like, she's barely, she's pretty out of it. Yeah, she's just wrestling around. What do you go to sleep? said something like her nose is bleeding. It was like, you learn to be a little more flexible, and what causes pause tends to change. It was a lot of blood. He's all right. I dyed this marabou. It's a little on the green side, but I have so much that I've dyed, and I always end up being kind of on the green side, and then I end up hitting it with something that makes it a little more brown. And then I have a lot of Sculpin olive brown movie recording. Yep. Hold, please. Not you. Just the, proverbial. Yeah, I guess it just comes down to I talk a lot. We're going to go with yeah. We're just going to do some ice dub. Some olive. Too much. And some scrimp. Scrimp pink. Which is like orange and peach. And I think it's mostly peach. That's why I like it. And then some of this copper, which is too long. So I'm just going to cut it in half. So I'm going to be using, I think, craft fur. And this is, I'm just getting that corner on. This is direct dubbing. So you're wrapping the, this is something I picked up. I think I was tying the Charlie Boy hopper. But a Charlie Craven pattern. And I think he does it on a couple different videos, but the Ganga. And so instead of wrapping, your thread around the clumps, you're grabbing that, twisting it up tight, and then wrapping the dubbing directly to the hook with itself. It ends up just getting more of a tighter dub, and that was a little back heavy just because my ties were kind of sloppy, and I'm using 140. So we'll make it. And then depending on what type of dubbing you're using, some of this stuff has longer strands. So like the tan and the light gray, it's like a little straighter, almost a little more fine. It's not as crumbly. And so I'll use that, I'll put that in. You can rip stack some more easily, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But I'll put that in, the front. Oh, I should change that setting, but I'm not going to. Just tie faster. I don't know what to do. Craft fur. So I will mix it with craft fur. I will mix it with what is the other synthetic that I really like? That's it. I only use craft fur. I mean, I'll rip it up and put it in a dubbing loop with marabou. So per usual, I'm going real light on the bottom tie and also not bulky on the bottom tie. If your craft fur is hard to tie in, use a little water. Water is cohesive and, say it with me now, adhesive. Sticks to itself, sticks to other stuff. Got a new camera going. Well, it's my old camera, but I feel like I was just getting comfortable with the other one, so can't have that. I'll do a little tiny reverse on this one. I have no idea. And I have an idea of what I'm doing, just not like I've probably tied, I don't know, half a dozen of these. But the first one I tied just looked so cool, little mini rainbow thing. And I pounded fish on it, and then what happened? So I don't like these bottom ties bunching up on my hook, so I really try to spread that out. What had happened was we ended up getting water. We got rain. And if you're not familiar with where I guide and fish in East Tennessee, and it is controlled, our flows are controlled by dams, tailwaters per se. Tailwaters, by definition. I don't know what the definition of per se is. This is the Alone Fire 10 watt with tinfoil and foam. Making a thing that I don't have to worry about blinding myself. It kind of. But I can also drunk head, just bake it. So marabou, some flash, stingery, hook. And then I have these TP605 size 2. I think I'm just going to double up on the universal stinger, just the XO7. Not gonna work here anymore. I was gonna do a fish skull head, but the fish skulls are not readily available. So we're gonna do copper cone head. I'm moving towards brass. I'm moving back to brass. I like those. I like the tungsten for the jigginess. But Where's my brain? I like the tungsten for the jigginess, but you can really feel it when you cast it. And yeah, some of these things I do like to get down a little faster. I think you just pie it sparser. Everything becomes easier. Materials flop out a little more. I'm going to tell you a secret. I wanted to tie this, one of these. I think I do. I actually, now that I'm tying this, I want to tie the other one, but that's just how life goes, isn't it? So that was when I'm putting lead on. I'll wrap it on the middle, put a little dab of super glue, get it secure, and then after that little dab, you put it, wrap it here, put a little dab, pinch it up. That shit is staying on. Less for weight. If there was a, that's not true. I was going to say if there was a neutrally buoyant, flexible something that I could wrap around like that. Anyways, I'm going back to brass. The tungsten's just shitty to cast, and I also feel like it lets you get away with unnecessary material. I don't know. Way too much of a diva on this one, and I'm cool with that. But regardless, brass it is. Bonus. I mean, this is probably gone today. This is a fly sort of designed with. I am going to tie that little, I don't even know what it's going to be, Bufordy type thing. But yeah, trip today. Low water. That was part of a tangent there before. Oh yeah, that we got water and I fish on tailwaters. And so we're going to lose this fly probably this weekend. Maybe in the next couple hours. And brass is cheaper. So, and there's that tungsten does sort of handicap good casters because it's a bitch to handle in the air. But you can also you get that really pronounced jig. So for someone who is, we'll say, less astute, for someone who is less astute, or whatever word you want to use, someone who's not as good. Sorry, gumming. How rude of me. It can. It's on the stripping that the tungsten kind of helps, because if you're not on it, making that thing move, um, and keeping a tight line, that's the big one. I've talked about it a million times, and I will keep talking about it because it makes a big difference. But if you're not keeping a tight line, you at least, which the tight line gives you the abrupt stop and starts, and then also makes it easier to pick up, makes the hook set better, allows hair bugs to actually work. So if you're not doing that, you still get a very abrupt change in direction with that tungsten. So it can be effective, you know, when you need it. So this is the UV polar chenille. I haven't done this yet. And then this is Krennic Flash and UV Shimmer Boo. The same thing. What's that? I've been waiting. I'm sure I've said this, but I was singing, "What do you want from me?" I mean, it was just a shitty day. And sometimes you gotta break out tunes with your mouth. And this dude's pretty reserved. Regular client, good guy. We started, I mean, the bite just turned on. We started wailing on him. He was fishing a peanut. He goes, "This fly is on fire." It's funny, those, you know, those are the moments that really start to get touchy feely if I talk about it too much. Relax, everyone. So I'm gonna do I really wanted to get two DSLRs going for this one, but it's not today. Just thinking, yeah, I just got back from Cincinnati. There's this podcast, Take Your Shoes Off with Rick Glassman, that the first time I had seen him do this joke was he had Bill Burr on, and he was saying his family's from Cleveland, and um, I mean, I even forget. Bill even goes, "How did?" Started laughing. It was like, "How did you? What did you just do?" Um, yeah, my family's from Cleveland, and my arm's tired. And Bill laughed, and Rick goes like, "Yeah, I have said that joke one way or another on so many different podcasts, and it never lands." I was like, "Well, it's pretty funny." But yeah, I just got back from Cincinnati. My back is tired. That's from driving, I think. That's not true. My back's tired because my hips are all fucked up. Because as cool as my seat is, my cooler seat, as cool as my seat is, it's made out of a cooler. It's a little too high. And And I also very rarely use my, just for fun here, we're gonna do a couple things. I don't use I took my foot brace off, which helps you if you ever been in the rowing machine, like stick your feet up. Helps you with leverage and all that. So this is where, like, fishing wise, this thing could not be more done. Okay, I was gonna put some pink. Just save some scraps, I think, for tying or for using for shrimp. Yeah, that'll work. Just a little fuzz. Just a little fuzz. A little fuzz for some color. Now the fun thing about craft fur, isn't it fun, is the profile. It is opaque. Trigger warning. We're going to do a couple different ice dub, maybe some more olive too. Kind of fill in that thread, that space there. I could be doing a dubbing loop, but I'm not. And I kind of like you can get the dubbing loops picky. I kind of like it's almost the intentional bedhead. Like, I want some of those things to fall out with their entire length. So they end up, like, the whole thing has sort of a UV, what have you, going on. And then what are we going to do for the front? I think we're going to do, the new camera is, oh, I guess, you know what it is? I know what it is. Because this camera has a higher, struggling bad. I think it's 24 megapixels, and then the other was 18. So the memory card has a read-write limit. So this is just hitting that limit a little faster. This is some, what? This is the olive and peach iced up blend. I'll clean up those threads in a second. Just relax. And if there is any noticeable difference between, the less bitching, it's because I'm about to go guide, and this is a really easy fly to tie. There's less, there's less room for my brain to get involved. That's all she wrote. Oh yeah, you come off it. No, you. Go have fun. I was about to say, or don't if that's what you like to do, but I feel like even if that's what you like to do, that would be considered fun. Huh?